Good evening. You ball-busting bitch. As Shakespeare said, shit happens.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Tyler, and today we're going to be ranking the Leprechaun franchise. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to say that very, very few of these movies are actually quality films. The Leprechaun franchise is like, holds the crown for just B-movie horror. And it's not even like horror, it's more comedy. I would say these are more comedy films than horror. It's only horror because there's blood in it. So I ranked these films based on how much entertainment I can get out of them. Because if I ranked them based on their actual like quality of film, I feel like that would just be too difficult. It's so much easier for me to just say, okay, I would rather watch this one than this one, you know? And I'm sure my ranking is going to be different than yours. I mean, I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Number 8 on my list is Leprechaun Origins. This isn't the worst made film in this franchise, but to me it is the least entertaining. It's just so boring and like bland and generic. Like, it's just a generic monster movie. The Leprechaun, you know, Warwick Davis's Leprechaun isn't even in the film. It's literally just like this 3-foot monster that we literally never see in the entire film. We never see. We never get a clear whole shot of this thing. And yeah, it's just very generic, bland, boring, and I found it unentertaining at all. In this one, they took out the comedy. They tried to go more like serious horror monster film, but like I said, it's just so generic, and so it's number 8. Number 7 is going to be Leprechaun in the Hood, and this one is, I mean, I almost put this as my least favorite one, but there are a few things in it that I can enjoy, I guess. I really don't know what to say for this one. I mean, it's just not good. The comedy doesn't land. The story is kind of stupid. It's not shot very well. The acting is pretty bad, other than Ice-T. I think Ice-T does pretty well in it. Warwick Davis, this is definitely my least favorite portrayal as the Leprechaun from Warwick Davis. I think it's just very generic Leprechaun, if you think of that. Like, it's just very basic and boring. He doesn't have that many jokes in this one that at least land. The kills are mostly cutaways. There's very little gore in this one. Number 6. Number 6 is going to be Leprechaun 4 in Space. Now, this is where I start getting enjoyment out of these. Leprechaun 4 is it's a bad movie, but the acting is pretty decent. It's definitely not the worst cast out of all of these films. It's fairly decent, and we have, you know, the guy from, he was in Return of the Living Dead and Friday the 13th Part 5, Demon from Friday the 13th Part 5. He's in this. He's great. The guy who plays the sergeant, he has like a whole, he's a robot, so he has like this whole like malfunctioning scene, and I think that's really funny. I like the Leprechaun. I think there are a few moments where he's kind of wasted. For example, the third act, he grows to be bigger than even like the people he's trying to kill. But he doesn't even kill anyone while he's gigantic, so it's kind of a waste. The graphics, the CGI in this film is god-awful. The worst CGI I've ever seen in a movie. It looks like an early 2000s video game. It's bad. But, like I said, I can get some guilty pleasure out of this film. I think there are certain parts of it that are funny. At my top 5, number 5 is Leprechaun 2. Leprechaun 2, I enjoyed the story a little bit. I like Cody, and Marty is definitely the best character in this film, aside from Leprechaun. I think he's hilarious. But Bridget in this film, I mean, my God, if The girl who played Bridget in this film was the best actress that they saw while auditioning for this role. By God, I don't even want to imagine what the other girls who auditioned for this role were, like, how bad they were, because Bridget is god awful. Her acting just like pisses me off every time I watch this movie. It's so bad, so bad. I despise her character. I definitely hate her character the most out of any character in any of these films. Number 4 is Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Out of the two, Leprechaun in the Hood movies, this is definitely the better one. It's got some decent acting. It's definitely not the worst acting. I think Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun is amazing. This is his last time, as of now, portraying the Leprechaun. And I think it's definitely one of his, good performances. I really like the way he looks. He looks very mature. Like, he has, like, long hair, and he's wearing, like, a very gothic outfit. I kind of like that look for him. And this movie is just, like, I don't know. The story's simple and easy. Like, these people stumble upon the leprechaun's gold. They take it. The leprechaun's out to get it back. It's simple, it's easy, but the comedy lands, and it's just a lot of fun to watch, I think. It's really just a crazy film that's not made very well, but still enjoyable. Now, my top 3. Number 3 is going to be Leprechaun Returns. This is the first and only Leprechaun film to actually connect to the first one. This is the only technical sequel, I guess. The only one with continuity. All the other ones, I guess you could assume they are different leprechauns, and each film is just that leprechaun story, but at the same time, these movies are bad, so why are you even bothering yourself with continuity? Anyway, Leprechaun Returns is definitely one of the most enjoyable out of the series. It definitely has the most gore, and I love the amount of gore in this. I love the fact that Ozzy returns. I love that we're back at the original house from the first one. And honestly, the new actor to portray the Leprechaun, I didn't think he did too bad. And if Warwick Davis decides that he never wants to come back to do a Leprechaun film, I mean, why would they continue making any more? But if they do, I wouldn't mind if this guy came back. He does a pretty great job. And the only thing that keeps it from being number 1 is the characters. They're really just like stereotypical characters, but they're honestly really stupid. Like the girl who is constantly like, I'm not gonna fuck you, but then she fucks the dude, and it happens twice. Like, this happens twice, where she's like, I'm not having sex with you. You need to, like, chill the fuck out, because this is not happening. And then 5 minutes later, she's legit fucking him in the back room. Like, this happens twice in this film, and it's just stupid. And that's the only thing keeping it from being number 1. Number 2 is going to be the original Leprechaun, the first one. The only reason this isn't the best one, or my favorite one, is because I don't think they knew exactly what they had in this film. Simply because it's a lot more tame than the other ones. The comedy is, like, basic, I guess. The kills are really blah. There's not a lot of gore at all. A lot of the kills are really, like, cutaways. There is a cool thing where, like, he rips out the cop's eye to replace his own, which is pretty cool. But also Jennifer Aniston is in this, pre-Friends, like pre-Rachel Green, and she's Jennifer Aniston, Jennifer Aniston. She's Jennifer Aniston. And I'm still shocked to this day that she's in this film. If there is an interview out there where she explains, like, just how this happened and how she ended up in this film, I would really love to see it, because I really want to know, like, how Jennifer Aniston got involved with this movie, because it's it still boggles my mind. And yes, number 1, we have Leprechaun 3. And Leprechaun 3 has probably the worst acting out of all of these films. I mean, our 2 leads are god-awful. But you have Caroline Williams, who is great. You may know her from The Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. And she was also in Hatchet 3. And I think she's great in this film. And yes, the acting from our 2 leads is pretty bad, but they're enjoyable. Like, the characters, you may hate some of them, but they're still entertaining to watch. The jokes land. The Leprechaun, I mean, God, he just belongs in Vegas. Like, Vegas is his town. He owns Vegas. Like, instead of putting Leprechaun in the Hood, they just should have kept him in Vegas for this whole thing, because it's so entertaining, and this is by far the most entertaining out of all of them. And if you wanted to watch any of these, I'd probably only recommend my top 3, 1, 3, and Leprechaun Returns. Those are the only ones that I think you need to watch. Those are the only ones that I think are worth watching. And that's my ranking for the Leprechaun series. I might do individual reviews for each of these movies, but that may come way later, just because they're not a priority, and I'm simply only doing this because of St. Patrick's Day. And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed my ranking. Don't forget to leave your ranking down in the comments, and have a happy St. Patrick's Day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.